So tell me, when the news came down, of course, we were surprised because we've joked for years that the show's going to run forever. Was it a big discussion about whether the show should end? And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was a several year long
Several
discussion.
years, yeah.
And it wasn't just a discussion between he and I. I mean, he and I obviously had probably the most discussions about it, but we had to take into a lot of account. There was a lot of people to take into account, and we had a lot of talks and a lot of tough talks, and it's just I think it all boiled down, and we certainly weren't the only ones that felt like we wanted to go before the show ran out of gas.
Right.
And I think that's really what it boiled down to, was like, let's go out when we're still strong. Let's go out, or at least when we think we're still strong. Let's do it right. Let's do it justice. This is the old entertainment industry saying, like, always leave wanting, making them wanting more.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that we wanted to try to do with the show.
And to also ourselves leave wanting more, So I think, to touch on what Jensen said, it was a separate. Well, we talked about it for years, because for many years we didn't know whether we were going to come back or not. So it's like, how is the show, as like objectively, what does the show mean to the fandom, to the writers, to the network, to the studio, to us, to the directors, producers, and actors and whatnot. And finally, kind of got to that point where we were like, well, I mean, something seems nice and poetic about 15 years, 327 episodes. It feels strong. It feels like the show has legs still. But as we know in Supernatural, nothing ever really dies. So we'll see what happens on many accounts. And it just felt like a nice time to give credit to something that's been a huge part of our lives for a long, long time.
Do you think, since we'll be driving to an end in the next season, do you think we'll feel that the entire season? Is it something that's going to be building the whole season? Do you guys know that yet?
We don't know. We're actually going to go sit down with the writers in a couple of weeks and discuss just that. Just kind of see how we want the final season to feel, and where we want to end up, and start to get an idea of kind of the tone that we're going to have, and it's we'll try to hit all the chords. It'll be emotional, it'll be funny, it'll be action packed, it'll be everything, and I think that's what. But I was saying earlier that I think it all boils down to having these two brothers, and again, that's the core, that's the heart of the show, and their journey and their fight for each other is I think really what it's going to hinge around. So
yeah, I hope it does. As you asked the question, as he was answering, I realized I hope it doesn't feel like it's ending. I don't like playing. Sometimes you see actors playing that they know where the scene is going. They walk into a room and you can tell they know something back. Like, no, you don't. You don't know that. Like, your character doesn't know that. I hope Sam and Dean carry on as if they're going to carry on for 15 more years, We'll see how it ends. We'll see how it's wrapped up. Our writers have a big job on their hands, and they have a lot of people who are going to be looking at them going, you better not F this up.
I don't envy their job right now.
I don't envy their position right now. We'll go give our 2 cents and whatnot, but yeah, I hope we play it as if the show will carry on.
And knowing the show does go to those dark places, could we see a happy ending? Do you guys want a happy ending, or is that not part of Supernatural's tapestry? Or
I don't want a happy ending.
Yeah, it would certainly go against the grain of kind of what we have done for the past 14 years. I don't know. I don't know. I want it to be a very dear friend, Kim Manners, who was on the show and has passed away, who was a mentor to both he and I. He always said, give them what they want in a way they don't expect it. And I hope to do just that.
And the hiatus beards can stay forever now.
Yeah, right?
Why not?
So I got to tell you guys, so many years we've been doing this, and I can't believe that it's the last one. Is that bittersweet?
Well, the last one for this show.
Yeah. And there's never really, with Supernatural, there's never any really last anything, I suppose. We've all died and come back, and we've been here, there, and everywhere. So,
but yeah, it looks like this was. We'll be setting sail after this. So.
Setting sail. So 15th and final season, right?
Yeah.
All these years the fans have been with you, supporting you. What has that fan support meant to you?
Well, it's just increased throughout the years, and I think that's been one of the biggest, humble and inspiring things that's happened to us. Is if we watch this with the whole landscape of streaming and binge watching, we continually get new people joining this fandom, and I think that's been really the shocking thing to us over the years is the fandom continues to grow. It didn't plateau. It never really just stabilized. It was always fluctuating, and I think that was such a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and I feel like it'll still grow. I mean, because we always joke that we were sort of in the middle of a basketball game or a football game, because we go up to Vancouver, we film our work, we come back. We don't do a whole lot of these. So we don't hear about the show a lot. We don't talk about it as much as we talk about it with our fans. And it's kind of grown on its own. It's like the little family. We meet people all the time that are like, oh my God, I started watching your show 12 months ago. I've seen all seasons. That's a lot of television to watch in 12 months. So it's kind of growing on itself, and the family has just made this something beyond what any television show I've ever known about could do.
And so much has changed in your lives, right? I mean, this has been sort of such a large chunk of your life that you've shared with the cast and crew and your second family as well. What does that mean to you sort of see that come to you?
Well, that's been a big deal. It's made the show more important. It's made our work more important. It's given it more value. Because at first, you're an aspiring actor and you'll kind of take any job that comes your way, and then you get an opportunity like this and you go, oh my God, where's it shooting? Can I be a part of it? Can I audition? This and that. And then when you realize that you have family watching you and understanding what you're doing, and your kids get to see you sacrifice, and our wives are very understanding, they're actresses themselves, so they get it, and it's kind of put more value on everything. And also the show's about family, so to have a family of your own, to see what that means in real time, has given it an extra little meaning.
Now we know that nothing truly ever ends on Supernatural, but how would you like to see that?
Big explosion. Blaze of glory.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways we could go. We could go super emotional. We could go super big and actiony. There's a lot of different avenues, and we're next week we're gonna go sit down and talk with the writers and try to figure out exactly where we all want to go and where we want to end up, and we want to make sure that we're doing justice to the show and to the people that have been with us for so long, and again to the fans that have supported us and kept us not. It was never a job,
Yeah.
and I think that's the great thing, and that's one of the reasons why we're still here is it was never a job. This was an amazing opportunity that he and I recognized and held on to for dear life.
It took 10 years, and we finally got pyrotechnics.
And they didn't explode the balloons. Hi guys. Why? Thank y'all for being a part of the 10th. Buongiorno, right? Buongiorno. How do you say, como se dice, good afternoon?
Pomenito. Pomenito. Joe?
Buongiorno. Bon afternoon. Almost. I know
Everything is bon.
No, buon. Everything is buon. Buon Tanamera.
You'd think after 10 years we'd have brushed up on this. No.
Well, I don't think either of us thought we'd ever have the opportunity to be here for 10 years in a row.
Look, we can't still speak English correct, what?
Goodly. We don't speak English goodly. We're really grateful to be here. I think he and I have had a couple of crazy days. We finished shooting season 14 on March 26th and have sort of been in dad and husband modes for the last month and a half. And so then 2 days ago, or 1 day ago, 2 days ago, whatever time change in New York, it all came I don't want to say crashing down. It all became very obvious again that we're all gonna be saying, I don't want to say sayonara, see you later. See you later is better than goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Do you even know what that means? You're just saying it. How do you say como se dice see you again? Arrivederci. You learned one word. One word.
It was the right one.
It was the right one. All right. So before we say arrivederci, let's go ahead and say ciao.
But hang on. We still have a whole other year of delivering you guys the story of these two brothers.
And pizza.
And Misha has a whole other year of delivering pizza. So, and then also we're going to be here next year, so we hope you'll be here. Because we're going to come here on vacation. So we hope to run into some of you while we're walking around. Unless Daniela wants to change that, I don't know. But we'll figure that out, I'm sure, tomorrow. It usually takes a couple of days of buttering her up. So let us...
Como se dice buttering her up?
Arrivederci. Ciao.
Ciao.
I do want to say, so we were in New York, we were doing our network upfronts where it's a big presentation for the advertisers, and we were doing a carpet there with a lot of media outlets and people interviewing us, and the question that we kept getting was, what are you going to miss the most about these characters? And I think Jared really said it best when he said that we're not going to miss these characters because they're a part of us forever. And so I think with your help, we will keep these guys alive forever. And that's kind of a cool thing. And we're going to be here next year anyway, too. So.
On a side note, somebody said, one of the journalists asked, what question will you miss the most? And I think the answer was, so how many more years is this show going to go?
This is season 15. You've got a dilemma like the end of season 8, and I was wondering, because you've got more say now, what storylines would you like to develop or revisit? And which guest writers would you perhaps like to invite back to help take them on?
Guest writers?
Like Ben or Sarah or someone.
That was, we had a conversation with Andrew and Bob towards the end of the season, and we actually, I mentioned a few things that I would like to possibly see happen in the last season, and one of those things we talked about was just that, bringing maybe some of the writers that we've had in the past back to pen an episode or two. I don't know if that will happen or how that would work. Our current writing staff might get pissed off about that.
I think the writers who could and did capably write for Supernatural were great writers. So they didn't get fired or laid off. You know, they're not on a beach somewhere with Virgin. No, I know you're not accusing that, but I'm saying like Sarah's running a show. You know, Ben and Robbie and Adam, like that.
They're all busy. I mean,
they're all busy. Like Jeremy, they're all Kripke, of course.
Who's that? Yeah, but they are all very busy, but they are all a part of this family, and you know, just because they're not currently employed with the show and aren't working with us, they were a vital part of it, and that was one thing that I would love to see in this final season is bringing people back that have helped us get to where we are today, whether that's writers, directors, characters, the actors that played those characters, And I think we're teed up to do some of that. It's really just going to be a logistical thing, like whether or not they're available, whether they can come and do that, if they're, if they want to do it. But I would like to see that, and I think that...
I'm sure they'd all want to. I mean,
yeah,
knowing them as we know them, there's no doubt.
Yeah, nobody has left our show with, man,
I don't want to come back.
Upset with it. There's always been amicable partings along over the years, and so I think that because of that could lead to people coming back and being a part of the last season, and I hope they would, because I think that would just add...
Maybe co-writing.
Maybe, yeah, or at least, story by. Sometimes they do that, like, if Jared has an idea, what about what? Crowley? He's not a writer.
Thank God. That'd be great.
But yeah, sure. Have Shepard come back and do an episode. Have Tim Amundsen come back and do an episode. I'd love to see that. And again, going back to what you were saying, like have Robbie come back and write an episode. Or at least pitch a story, or Sarah, Ben, Jeremy. How that's gonna, if that can happen, I don't know, but yes, I'm on board with that happening.
Hi. So you both shared how you would like Supernatural to end, but how would Sam and Dean want it to end? And also nobody touched that thing behind you just yet, just saying.
The hand, what's it called? Is this Veritas de... Boca de Veritas or something? Boca de Veritas? All right, I'm gonna do it.
The freaking smoke and the music, I wouldn't touch that thing, man.
I enjoy Misha's company. It bit me. You know what that is?
It was just shooting stuff out of its mouth. Wait, did you not feel that?
I didn't feel it. My fingers are gone.
Hell no! All right.
Oh, I'm watching.
What was I supposed to do?
You say something, and if it's the truth, then it doesn't bite you, right?
I don't know that that's how this works.
I believe it's how it works.
No, it works like that.
That's how it works.
I see.
If you're lying, they're taking your hat.
They take your fingers off. They take your pants off. It's Roman. It's Italian. It's very sexy.
Okay.
Say something first.
This will be the 10th and final Jib Con.
You're already starting it.
The mouth has
That is some old saliva.
Was it Misha? It'll bite you.
I don't like that shit.
It'll bite you. So, okay, now we know.
Thanks for that.
What's it called? What's it called? Boca de la Verita.
No, what was it? You almost got it.
Boca de la Verita. Sí.
It's a duet.
I apologize from my friend.
Lo sento. What was the first question?
how would Sam and Dean want Supernatural to end?
Jesus. That's a rough question. That's one we thought about. I'm sorry. Our view is very different than your view. You see? Okay. Is there something in that? I feel like, so I said this, I'll repeat it because I said it in New York 2 days ago. Time change. I don't want season 15 to... I see what you did there. I like it. I don't want to have the characters know that it's. I don't even say winding down, but I don't feel like their attitudes should change. They've always done whatever they could, whatever they feel like it would take to keep the fight going. So God forbid these stories lend themselves to almost showing the audience and showing the other characters like, oh, we know we're going to be gone in 20 episodes. Not that I know that we're going to be gone in 20 episodes. I don't know if we die. I hope we die, but I don't know if we die. Someone's just like, is there a giant snake in the room? Slytherin?
I'm gonna jump in. I think, my opinion, that the brothers would, for this to wrap up, I think that their idea or their ideal kind of scenario would be for all those that were in heaven go back to heaven, all those that were in hell, they go back to hell, all of the demon and heaven and hell and angel, all that stuff kind of goes back to status quo. And it goes back to like season 1 when it was just monsters. Just having to fight those things that go on for the night. And then...
No, Misha.
No. I mean, Castiel would stay, but just different. Somebody else.
They didn't get it.
Just not Misha. No, and then I think it'd be cool, like, and then they can then kind of teach their knowledge to maybe a younger generation of hunters. That's, in my opinion, how I think the brothers would love for the world to kind of end up, is back to a state of normalcy, but with still, they still have jobs, so to speak. Yeah, I doubt that's going to happen, but
we'll see.
But we'll see. Say that one more time.
Okay. The Pearl, 300 episode, John Winchester. If that Pearl really exists, what would your desire be and why?
Sam and Dean or Jensen and Jared?
Jensen and Jared.
Oh, Jesus. God, that's a rough... Wow, what time is it?
Time to spin the wheel.
Do you want to know
what's
why?
the one thing in the world that you want? You have something?
Yeah.
What would that be?
I would love to have both of you as friends forever.
You already have that.
Congrats.
So the Pearl is real.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Ditto or vice versa, or whatever the best way to say it in your native language is. I feel like, I say this often with friends, I hope no one goes to their pine box. Is that an analogy or a metaphor that kind of translates? I feel like if if I knew I was going to be moving on to the next chapter of life, I hope that I felt comfortable knowing that the people around me knew how much they meant to me, know how much they mean to me. And I hope that the same for them. So I hope that, like, part of what we're doing here, you know, we both have families that we were born into. We both have families that were born from us, partially. We have, I mean, we didn't do the lion's share, you know what I mean? Our wives certainly did the hard work and are doing the hard work.
Well, technically, we did do the lion.
Okay.
He's talking about
I hope people around me know how much I appreciate them. I guess is what it boils down to.
I would wish for everyone to understand and experience what true happiness is, and I think that if everyone was able to do that, I think we'd cure a lot of the problems in this world.
¿Qué tal? No, ¿qué tal in Spanish? Just ¿qué hora es? Arrivederci.
So in a different mood, I have 2 cats at home and I obviously miss them very much, so I was wondering, do you have any funny pet stories?
Yep, you guys hearing that?
No.
Who's good? There's a hot mic somewhere. Okay, it's off. Continue.
So I was asking, do you have any funny pet stories?
Pet stories?
Dogs,
Dogs?
cats, I don't know.
I'd say cats, but we're not real cat guys.
You start.
Well, I've only got one dog now. So it had to, our big one we actually gave to my brother-in-law, Gino. So he's still in the family, but he's with Gino. So still got little Icarus, who is 13 years old, and the guy can still chase squirrels and birds like he's 2 years old. So he's like ageless. I don't understand what's happening. But no real funny stories. He's at that age. He's just part of the family. There's no like cleaning up messes or torn up pillows or any of that stuff. He's just a good old man's best friend. He's my buddy.
So I think, without getting gross,
you got a new one.
I have a new pup. I have a new January 20th. We have a dog named Coda. He's a little German Shepherd, and he's a good dog. We said bye to our almost 16-year-old German Shepherd 5 days before Coda was born. So one door closes, another opens, and I feel like my funny stories involving animals always involve me using them as an excuse for like why it might smell a little bit in the room. The dog, like the puppy, he's farting. I promise it was him. I don't know about funny stories. It's kind of it's a fun little. I don't know. Do you? It seems like you might have a funny story about an animal.
Well, I have a lot, but...
What do you mean funny?
What?
What do you mean funny?
I don't know, my cat is 7 months old and she thinks my husband's finger is her mom, so she always tries to eat it.
Thank you.
She said finger.
She does like weird things.
That actually is very funny. Thank you very much.
Also, no one's spin the wheel yet.
Well, it's very early. It's not even noon yet. It's almost noon.
You're welcome. Wait one moment.
Grazie
We
mille.
have something special for you to drink.
Hey, look, we got apple juice.
We have something special for you to drink. We have something special.
Daniela,
Just wait one moment. Dov'è?
Thanks a lot.
It's Fat Pete.
All right, well, while we wait for whatever is about to happen, why don't we go over here?
yes?
And you always inspire all of us. So we also know that you are best friends, yes, and you spend a lot of time together and influence each other. So
Continue.
I was wondering, have you learned something from each other? Offset.
Do you have anything in mind?
That's difficult to, that's very,
That's not difficult. We've learned a ton.
yeah, it's difficult to say one
He
thing.
and I have learned things together because we've experienced a lot of what this show has given us and this life that we've led over the past 14 years. There, you know, we often say that there's really nobody else on this planet that understands what my life is like more than he does, and vice versa. And that's very special. That's a really unique connection. And I think because of that, we've learned things together. He's taught me many things. I hope I have reciprocated that. And so yeah, I think, you know, it's like asking your best friend, like, you know, have you learned anything from each other? And of course.
Agreed. I will say, yeah, the things that I've learned from him, alongside him, beside him, whatever, are numerous. But one specific thing that I've learned that is crucial right now is how to pack your button-down shirts. I'm not lying, don't try and say how to pack your button-down shirts.
How to pack.
Without getting them wrinkled. And here's how you do it. So pretend this is a shirt. Will you teach the crowd? So if this was a button-down shirt, per se, and you don't have a hangy bag, but then you need pants.
Then you take your pants, you roll those up nice and tight.
You fold them vertically?
Fold them, yep. Fold them like that. Roll them up. Put the rolled up pants at the bottom of the shirt, like this.
And roll it all together. Yeah.
I had no idea. For years and years and years, he didn't let me in on this secret, so he'd talk shit. He'd be like, hey, nice bags. What are you taking, your whole house? And I'd be like, well, I don't want my clothes to get folded when I don't have time to steam. I don't know how to iron or steam. And so finally he's like, all right, I'm just messing with you. Here you go. Here's how you pack into a small suitcase and not get all
I had another close friend of mine ask me the same thing. He's like, hey, what's that thing you were telling me about the rolling the shirts and they don't wrinkle and then you just take them out and boom, and I was like, and so I tried to explain it to him over the phone, and I ended up doing an instructional video for him. And I thought I was going to have to do the same thing for him, but he got it.
I would have asked you for it.
I know.
As I was packing, 2 days ago, I was like, hey, remind me again about the pants thing and the shirts. I was like, I don't want to take a whole bunch of stuff, but we had to take a suit to New York.
It's just a little, I pack, I try to, it's like a pride thing of me. Like, I have to pack very light. I take very little just because, for me, it's like, I'll get angry if I bring something and I don't use it. Because I'm like, why did I pack that? Why did I lug that all the way, halfway across the world when I never needed it? That makes me angry. I feel like I failed. So everything that I have has a purpose, and usually multi-purpose. And so I've just found a way over the years to just pack very meticulous. The worst is when I go through security and they're just start taking things out of the bag. I mean, it's just like steam out of my ass. Because I know it took me a while to get, it's like a Jenga, it's like a puzzle. It's like putting everything into perfect places. But anyway, that's, I taught him how to fold his laundry.
Correct. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Apparently we've got a box. Well, I mean, look, I spun the wheel. And when you spin the wheel, what the...
You need to drink.
What is this, like unicorn blood?
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
Wine.
What?
Don't you recognize wine?
You mean it's
Is it made from Stephen?
pink lemonade?
It's wine, pink wine, unicorn wine.
Well, I can't drink this. I gotta...
How do you open it?
I was just gonna punch the cork in and drink it. See, down in Texas, we don't need no wine opener. We just rip that foil off, punch that cork into the bottle, and yeah!
Many years ago, I did a convention in Brazil, and I was with my friends Cliff and our buddy Gabe, and there was a car accident between Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, and so we were stuck on the highway for several hours. We had a bottle of wine, and we were like, well, let's open it. And so we were looking up online how to open up wine without a wine opener, because we weren't going to open it in the car. And so it was like, well, have your shoe and hit it up against the side of a wall. So we get out of the car and we take our shoe off and we're trying to hit the bottle of wine up against the median, the concrete barrier. And then we hear like, bonk, bonk, bonk. And we're like, oh, somebody's pissed off. And we turn around and there's a guy holding a corkscrew out of his car. He knew what we were trying to do. Oh, this is like a pee. Thank you.
I know you love wine, so.
I do love wine. I'm not sure what this is.
It's sparkling.
Just don't look at it. It's 10 years.
Literally, there's like glitter in there. Is this gonna make? Is this like weird drugs? Am I gonna be hallucinating for the rest of the day?
It as wine.
But no, do you see that?
I don't
Look. There's literally like glitter floating in it.
Mine doesn't have glitter. Salute. Salute, chin chin.
What does it taste like?
Glitter. Tastes like pink glitter.
They sell it, someone drinks it.
Who drinks that?
I don't know.
This is like a...
Jared.
That was wonderful.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Daniela.
They're saying end of panel. I'm glad we ended with that.
Do y'all see what we see? Yeah.
But what's happening? Adam Auto Session is now open.
It's actually a really awesome visual.
That's it. End the panel.
Mesmerizing. All right, I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
Sorry we had to end with glittery unicorn pink drink. But maybe there'll be some left for all of you later. Again, thanks. We love coming here and seeing you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.